If we're not at a Disney park, we're dreaming about being there, and a cup of Joffrey's Coffee Disney Blend helps. But what about when you're at a Disney park? The Joffrey's Disney Kiosk and Restaurant Locator will make sure you never miss out. Whether it's a cool drink on a hot summer vacation or a great cup of coffee at a Disney signature restaurant, Joffrey's has you covered. Check it out at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To our new passengers, we welcome you aboard our Highway in the Sky and hope you've enjoyed the Magic Kingdom.
Hey everybody, welcome to ResortLoop.com. I'm your host, Bob Collar. As many of you may know, this is going to be my last show for a little while because I've got some family things. Well, I talked about this before. I'm not going to go over it again. But I'm going to take a little hiatus while I take care of some important things going on, taking care of some family members that need taken care of. And I thought, who would I like to talk to? My very last show for a while. And I grabbed the best people I could possibly find, but they canceled. And no, I kid. Of course, it's, again, it's the end of the month. We have to talk to them. We're contractually, we have to talk to them. No.
I have receipts.
I love these guys more than they know. Of course, the DVC Roundtable, we're missing a couple of them, but, their hearts are in it.
We're like the DVC Triangle tonight.
We are hey, I kind of like that. It's a wedge.
Yeah.
We're the DVC Wedgie.
Okay, wait a minute.
I would like to introduce the always elegant and lovely Rebecca Jasmine Toon, who, by the way, just found out she grew up just outside of Paris. Not many people know that.
Paris, Texas, that is.
I'm trying to help you here. I'm trying.
It counts.
Listen, here's the thing. I had the most wonderful weekend this past weekend. I actually went and saw Hamilton on Broadway.
Ooh.
So I'm feeling pretty proud of my roots tonight.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. And Texas is wonderful. I absolutely love Texas.
Texas is a wonderful place to visit.
Amen.
No offense to our Texas listeners. I feel like I am from Texas. I can say that.
I got to tell you something. I would live in San Antonio in a heartbeat. And that river walk down there, I really enjoyed San Antonio. So.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. And we always, and I do mean always, extremely distinguished Bradley Quinton Coates is with us this evening. I don't know if those are their middle names.
To be with you, and especially America.
He grew up somewhere outside of somewhere.
He never grew up.
We're still waiting.
Peter Pan.
That's absolutely the problem.
I should have been recording. I should have just started recording when I first got you guys on. Because I'm telling you, folks, the show before the show is ridiculous with the roundtable.
Always best.
Good pal Joe Quattrochi is down at Disney World, and Emily Hansa Hicks is wrangling some children somewhere. So
Joe is enjoying an upgrade in the car suite of Disney's Art of Animation.
Yeah.
So we wish him well, and we're not bitter at all.
No.
At all.
At all. Getting it in before the Galaxy's Edge kicks off.
What do you think? We don't want to go to Disney for a while.
Before we get started, Brad, you just got back from Disneyland. How was that?
Actually, since you just mentioned that, it was interesting because I got there a week before theirs opened up, right? So I was thinking, or actually almost 2 weeks. So I'm thinking, it'll be calm and everything. It was nuts. It was supposed to be 2 out of 10. That place was packed.
Really?
Yeah, the crowds were there, but I happen to know a guy who helps you with touring plans, and so we took care of that. So. But we had a good time and a lot of fun. I messed up. Some of you folks know that I'm actually, for my real day job, I'm a pastor, and so that Sunday morning when I got back, I got up and shared with everybody that my youngest daughter got engaged while we were at Disneyland. I don't know if you guys saw that on Facebook. Yeah. Mickey Mouse saw the ring on my other daughter's finger, looked at Patty, saw no ring, dropped to one knee, and
Hey.
and I told her I was very proud she was marrying into money, and I'm set, guys. I'm showing up next time with a shotgun, and the mouse is not getting off with this thing. I'm telling you right now. I'm making this happen.
Promises were made. Promises were made.
That's right, man. I'm set.
Contractually obligated are your two
That's
favorite
right.
words.
I got pictures. Man.
I bet you can pull hop wherever you want,
That's
Brad.
right.
The reception will be at D20 or at the 33 Club. Club 33.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. I bet a lot of people are trying to get in that last trip before it does get just crazy crowded.
I kind of thought it wouldn't be, but it was. And that school wasn't out there yet.
I think people are just taking their shot where they can.
They did. It was cool.
Although I do think that they're trying to do their best to mitigate the crowd and the expectations and things like that. I've read a lot about how they're trying to disperse the crowds and stuff like that. And hopefully they'll be successful, at least a little.
Yeah, we did get over there to see the where they put in the new show. Not Muppets 3D.
Oh, in Disneyland?
In Disneyland, they put in PhilharMagic.
Yeah.
Were you able to get over there?
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
No, it wasn't quite as nice as that because the theater wasn't built for it. But it actually, when you went inside, it had all the features. Donald flies over your head, crashes in the wall, all the stuff you normally see. So it was really cool. It's at California Adventures. They put it there back over by the Monsters Inc. ride in a building that they just kind of fill with whatever. And but they did, why they did that? It was just to try everything they can to pull.
Because that is a crowd swallower.
Yeah.
You
need to get
huge group of people in there. Yeah.
So, but I loved it, and it's been long missing there, and now it's not. So it's cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very
That's
good.
awesome.
Very good.
We had a great time. We did Club 33 again. I said the last time I think I was done. This time, I'm telling you right now, if I ever go back again, it'll be just me and my wife. Because I almost had to sell a kidney this time. Five of us with my new future son-in-law being with us. That was like, okay.
Yeah, and it's not 5 kids.
See that charge. That charge.
No, you just tell your new son-in-law that next time he's paying.
Yeah, well,
that's how that works.
Yeah.
Now, is that where he proposed?
No, it's funny because the person that I have the contact with that gets me into Club 33, she misunderstood, so she got busy. And when I called, she said, "Okay, I've got it all lined out, and you can do it on the steps going up." And no, they're going to already be engaged. She graduated from college the week before, and then the night of her graduation, her family was in town for some kind of an event, supposedly, and they threw a party for her graduation party while he proposed then with all of the families there. So it was pretty cool.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to talk Disney.
All right. So, Rebecca, you got some news over there.
I do have some news. I have some news for all of you pool enthusiasts. And trust me, they're out there, because I remember when my daughter was young, we would go to Disney and she loved the pool. Any of the pools, all of the pools. It didn't matter which pool. She loved the pool. And we'd swim, and then we'd go to the park, and she'd be in the parks for about 5 minutes, and she'd say, "Can we go back to the pool now?"
Yep.
And I remember being
so
angry. And I'm like, do you know what I spent on this vacation? We could be at the Dallas Hilton right now for all you know.
Right.
So the pool enthusiasts are out there. So new news for DVC and DVC members and the perk of pool hopping. And, for a long time, this could be a very polarizing discussion, as a matter of fact, for some people. But for a long time, DVC members were able to pool hop. If you were staying at one resort, you could hop over to another resort and use that pool. And as the years have gone by, the pools that you were able to hop to has sort of dwindled. And sort of the latest sort of casualty of that perk is the Grand Floridian Beach Pool. So officially, the DVC member perk of pool hopping at the Grand Floridian Beach Pool has been rescinded. In the past, DVC owners have been allowed to use pools at a variety of other resorts while staying as guests on property. Subject to blackout dates, capacity restrictions, members could visit the likes of Luna Park Pool at Disney's Boardwalk Villas or High Rock Spring at Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa to enjoy a change of scenery. And it's still the same water, though, guys, trust me. So Disney World pools, however, are now ineligible for hopping. The latest are the pools at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. Both the elaborate beach pool and the lower key courtyard pool are now available only to registered guests of the Grand Floridian. Other off-limit pools now include the Yacht and Beach Club pools, which I think may have been the first one.
Yeah, I think that was the first one.
Yeah. Disney's the Polynesian Villas and Bungalows pools, the Wilderness Lodge pools, the Art of Animation Resort pools, and Bay Cove Pool at Bay Lake Tower. There are also reports that pool hopping is now not allowed at Disney's Animal Kingdom resorts and villas. Currently, pools still available for hopping, however, are those at the Boardwalk, Scary Clown Pool, Saratoga Springs.
Exactly.
Listen,
she beat me to it.
If you've had enough to drink.
Yeah.
Saratoga Springs, Old Key West Resort, Coronado Springs Resort, and the main pool at the Contemporary Resort. All pool hopping is, of course, subject to a series of blackout dates around major holidays and capacity restrictions. So always check with member services for updated information before your trip. And I think it's just a good idea to always ask or call if you're planning on going over to a resort that you might want to swim at, just to make sure. It has become a hot topic, especially in discussion forums and places like that, where you're sort of protected by your computer screen no matter what you say. It can get to be a really polarizing discussion because a lot of people believe that as DVC members, they should be able to hop where they want. And a lot of members and non-members believe that it's a perk and sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't. So it's a very diverse school of thought on pool hopping. And I think I've always been a little surprised that it's such a big deal, but it's interesting the older I get and the more our trips change from trips where we sort of commando through the parks at all times and those trips where we now have spent trips, 4 and 5 day trips where we haven't seen the park at all. I kind of understand the mentality of park hopping, that it would be nice just to go over to a resort, maybe spend the day at the pool, at the restaurants and things like that. So I get it now, but I definitely think that maybe it's gotten so popular that they've had to pull back on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious as to how popular that is. Whenever we've gone, and this, I mean, you used to be able to do that. Any guest could go to any pool.
DVC or not. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I don't recall ever even, we thought about it at one point, hey, do you want to go over to this pool? And it's like, oh, then you got to get all your stuff and you got to go to the pool and you change. Yeah, so I'm just curious as to how really big a deal or how many people this is affecting.
I think it's one of those kind of squeaky wheel things. If enough people complain about it or complain about the park or the pool being too full, this is one of the things that they can point at to say, well, we're doing all we can. I actually can. I have one instance where the kids and I did this one trip. It was years and years and years ago, and it was right after we found out about the existence of Beaches and Cream over at the beach club. And it was back in the day when you could get these vouchers through some company, and Beaches and Cream was included, and you could get the kitchen sink for like $7. It was the craziest thing. So we had these vouchers, and we went over there, and we had planned out the whole day sort of around this restaurant. And we knew about the pool there, and it was before that was not allowed. And it was when really anyone they didn't even have the locks on the gate at that time. And so we took our swimsuits, we took towels, we took a change of clothes, we went over there, we spent the day in the beach club pool, and then had dinner at Beaches and Cream, and then walked over to Epcot for the nighttime show. So I do recall doing that in that instance. But it was cumbersome. It's kind of like switching resorts midway through your trip. Like it's not an easy day, and you're carrying your backpack with your wet swimsuits into Epcot, and that's gross. And, there were challenges to it.
Right.
We did it a couple of times years ago, but that was my insight to it, and even more so than changing from doing a split stay, because a split stay, it all happens while I'm in the park. It's not really that cumbersome. I just take the bags down and then they'll show up in my next place. But with this, it's you gotta take all this time to get there, and then you gotta get set up, and then you still can't just run to your room to switch something out. But I understood when they first did the one at the beach club. And I guess it made sense because it was the only one with that kind of a pool. That's a very special pool there. Right. And I could see where a lot of people would want to go to that one because nowhere else has a lazy river, or not yet.
And it's kind of like, if you start looking at it, like, am I going to spend another whatever the price of admission to Typhoon Lagoon is, or am I going to go around this lazy river for free? Well, hi.
Right. Exactly.
And then I understood that they started talking, there was an issue with people that would go like to Magic Kingdom and then would hop on the monorail and go over in the afternoon to go swim on hot summer days.
Oh. Mm.
And so that made sense when they started shutting down. Okay, well, then they're going to shut down Poly. They shut down, that because the next big one was Bay Lake, which to me was weird because if you've ever seen that pool, it's like, yeah, really?
Yeah.
It's not that exciting. It's like, really? A lot of people come to this pool? But now they're talking Animal Kingdom. Really, how many people do you think get on a bus, take all that time to go clear out to Animal Kingdom to swim in their pools?
Right.
Most people complain about Animal Kingdom being too far away.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to go out there to spend the day to swim? But anyway, whatever.
I almost feel like it's one of those measures where visitors are really pushing to get every cent out of every dollar that they spend. They want that value. Yeah. And so they look at this as a freebie in a sense. Yeah. And so it may just be a value added proposition sort of thing where they feel like they're getting more for their money if they do that. Yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting, like I said, it's a very polarizing opinion. Yeah. Somebody posted pictures a while back in one of the forums that I'm on of, they were DVC members. And so just the four of them stayed at a DVC resort, and then they held their child's birthday party at the pool.
Oh my gosh.
And so there were like 18 children at the pool, but they were guests of this family. And so it was a very small loophole that they slipped through.
Yeah. See, there'd be more concern for that than pool.
Yeah. So I think that's where you're starting to see Disney say, okay.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if you see a lot of that. And I do know they do have problems with local people coming and using the pools as a pool. Sure. And because I saw that firsthand. I was at Coronado, and I watched them call the sheriff's department and everything else to get these kids that somebody, I don't know, they were old enough so they probably drove over themselves, but they weren't staying on property. So maybe it's a situation where they're having a hard time determining whether you're supposed to be there, whether you're at a different resort, or you're somebody who shouldn't be there at all. And they're just saying, you know what, we're just done. No, only the people from that resort are allowed to go there.
Yeah. And I think you start seeing liability issues. Like there could be layers upon layers of things that we can't even fathom.
And this is one of those many things that we hear about all the time when we have to be reminded as DVC owners, this was never a perk. It was just something they allowed. It wasn't something they guaranteed. It's never been in the writing. Nobody has a contract on there that says, now, by the way, you are allowed to pool hop. It's not part of what you purchased. It's just something they allowed, and these things come and go. It's just the nature of it.
I honestly think it's something Disney probably never even had the forethought to think about. Like it probably never occurred to them.
Right.
With as many resorts as they're building now, if they all start pool hopping, it could get really, before it was just a handful of, resorts. Now it's, there's a lot of people on property that are DVC.
Yeah, so, there's a lot that could happen.
Yeah, so Absolutely. It makes sense.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think people will be outraged for a hot minute, and then we'll keep moving forward.
Move on, just like we always do. Yeah. And I like your insight, Bob. I never had thought of that before, and of course I'd never experienced it. That makes a lot of sense, because how do they control those people? It gets really hard. So now it's just come in here. Show me your room card.
Yeah, it's like dropping your kids off at the mall on a summer day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you got to figure. The Kissimmee area, Florida in general, has some of the most beautiful swimming pools on the face of the planet. I mean, Disney has some great pools, but there's some other great pools out there too, off property. Oh, yeah. And I'll bet that is something that happens quite a bit. Quite a bit.
That would make sense.
So, well, Brad, speaking of moving forward, what do you got over there?
So I have the second story that we're going to share with you today is information that came out concerning there's a new series of filings for Reflections, a Disney Lakeside Lodge. Now, before I go any farther, here's where I'm going to take my side rant. What? Seriously, why do we have to name a resort with like a full-blown novel? I mean,
it's like
just call it Reflection. It's not Aulani.
First of his name, Mother of Dragons.
Yeah, it's not Aulani, the Disney experience in a Hawaiian culture.
Think of the stitching that it's going to cost them for shirts for this place.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's why you don't get resort specific gear.
They give you the little, the little acronym, just the letters, and the good luck. It's like 14 letters. But anyway, I digress. Reflections is fine. I thought it was a weird name, but now that I feel like they feel like they have to explain themselves. It's like
that's entirely. And the first time I read it, I thought they were bringing Reflections of Earth back down.
Yes, right.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And so they had to do all this other weird stuff. Just have the courage to name it what you want to name it, and then leave it alone.
There you go.
If it's a great resort, it'll be like Aulani. You don't need but one name.
There you go.
There you go.
And everybody knows what it's about. So anyway, now let's get back to what matters.
Like Rebecca. You just need the one name. Everybody knows what they're getting.
Right. It's not great, but everybody knows.
Oh, come on. Yes, it is. Come on.
Let me just say, it may not be great, but it is legendary.
I believe I introduced you as elegant and lovely. So there you go.
Okay, we're moving forward.
All right. So anyway, back to where we were. The plans that were filed, it's kind of exciting. They show the main resort building along with a courtyard, which will house the main pool complex.
She may not
actually going to be. Which you cannot go to. And I'm confident that will be the case, because this pool is going to also have a lazy river.
Yep. And
also a kid-friendly water play area, so similar to Beach Club. So I'm confident they'll lock this one off and not let people come to it, because it'll be another one of those real close to Magic Kingdom. They could just slip over there and enjoy the lazy river. They'll shut that down, I'm sure. But anyway, so the main pool area is going to have a lazy river and a kid-friendly water play area, and then on the western side of the resort, there's a second pool and a boat dock to the north. There looks to be a series of standalone structures similar to the bungalows over at the Polynesian Villas along the waterfront. So I'm sure they're going to do the Cascade cabins or whatever at Copper Creek. They're going to have those upgraded facilities there, which are nice. One day, I'll get to know somebody that has enough points that can let me stay there.
I was counting on that to be you, Brad.
Yeah. I'm like calling them up and saying, okay, so I got 150 points here. How many hours can I stay?
You got 15 minutes. Go.
Yeah, okay.
I don't feel like Disney resorts are paid by the hour.
Which is a good thing. So anyway, so there's going to be cabins, and there may even be more. It's like 6 more cabin-like buildings line the shore of Bay Lake as well, so Reflections is being constructed For those of you that may not heard about where this is at, this is that area that was talked about for a long time. Yeah, where the River Country Water Park was. Everybody kept saying they got to do something with that land, and so.
Back up just a minute, because I need you to speak slowly and use small words, because I can get lost in a box.
Oh.
All right, so if I'm imagining Bay Lake, I didn't know River Country. That was before my time. So if I don't know where River Country is, where is this resort?
Well, the only way I can say it is when we stayed at the cabins, or if you get on the boat at the cabins or Wilderness Lodge.
Yep.
Okay. It's like on the opposite side of where Wilderness Lodge is, across on the other side of the water. It's just
so if you look directly across, it would be in that area.
The boats actually go right by it. When you get on the boat, I'm sorry, I'm totally wrong. When you get on the boat at the cabins, as I remember, right as you leave from the dock, not very long after you've left the dock, in just a wooded area along one of those jetted out parts of land, you can see parts of the park that's right in there.
So it is actually on the old River Country. So if I looked up where River Country used to be, that's where this new okay.
Yes, exactly.
And are they using any of the facilities that remained from River Park or from River Country, or were they all destroyed?
Yeah, all of that was so. From what I understood, it was all so overrun and dilapidated.
It sits kind of behind Hoop-de-Doo Review. So in between, the Wilderness Lodge and the campground, right on the lake, behind Hoop-de-Doo. So kind of closer to the campground, of course. But
so
right after you get on the boat,
did River Country used to be part of Fort Wilderness?
Not really.
Okay.
It was a water park, standalone water park. It was convenient to the folks from Fort Wilderness because they could just walk over.
Yes.
And there was no Wilderness Lodge yet, so that was where it was, because it was, you get on the boat from the cabins and you'll see it right there on the left, right after you left the dock. So that makes sense. Right there behind Hoop-de-Doo.
Interesting.
Now keep in mind too, I did see where they just put out restrictions on if you want to go to Fort Wilderness. Let's say you want to go to my favorite place, Trails End, to have lunch.
I've never been there.
You gotta go.
I'm gonna put this on my list.
Oh, Trails End is fantastic. Absolutely love Trails End. But you have to now. Parking is limited, so they are not allowing you to park at Fort Wilderness while this construction's going on.
So take the bus.
So you have to take a bus or the boats, which is going to be crazy. So you're gonna. I'm guessing they're going to allow you to park over at like the Contemporary, and then go through the Contemporary to go back to the boats to come over to Fort Wilderness. So. And
don't you have to take you take the bus or the boat to Fort Wilderness, and you take like a internal bus?
Correct.
Okay.
But that
that's
parking,
they're serious travel time.
Yeah, they're eliminating that parking so that they can move equipment in and out, I guess, for the construction. So no more parking, just hanging out parking to go visit Fort Wilderness. You got to take
one more reason not to stay in one of those cabins.
Disney transportation. Oh, come on. The Fort Wilderness cabins?
Yeah.
I got to do that. I haven't done that yet.
We did it 2 trips ago, and I think it was just a bad experience, but we had a bad cabin.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. And we had multiple repair issues, and we tried all week, and they'd come and they'd say, "We fixed it," and we go, "No, you didn't." We had a door that wouldn't close; it would just open on itself. We'd come back from the park, and the front door would be open. We're like,
You sure that wasn't over by the scary clown pool?
I was about to say, we just call those rooms possessed and move on.
It was either there or it was when we stayed at the hotel in Compton when we went to Disneyland. I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It was one or the other.
You weren't at a scary kids camp in the woods with a bunch of teenagers, and that's a whole other movie. Anyway, before we get too far off again, what else you got? Speaking of scary stuff.
Yeah.
Brad,
not so scary. DVC members attending Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party this year, as well as the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, can again enter the park several hours early with their event credentials, and because I'm sure you'll have to show your DVC as well. I got to tell you, I wasn't even aware of this. Most people that are Disney vets that have done these parties are aware that the parties usually run from 7 p.m. until midnight. They're a 5-hour party. That's been the way it's been for years. But if you show up at the park at 4 p.m., they'll let you in early with your ticket. In other words, you don't have to use a park day in there. You can just use your party ticket, and they'll let you in 3 hours early. It's been that way for as long as I can remember. And they actually do that same thing, by the way, before I forget, with the After Dark party. The one we went to in January.
Okay.
It started at 9, and we were actually allowed to go in at 6. So I don't know if that's a permanent thing, but that was kind of cool. Well, back in 2018, DVC offered a special add-on entry perk to DVC members only, to where they can enter the park as early as 2 p.m.
Wow.
So you're literally making 2 to 12. I mean, that's a full day.
A full day.
That's a good
Especially
value.
If you have kids.
Yeah, that's a killer value now. So even better than before. So, and they're going to be doing that again this year in 2019. So DVC owners, pay attention. Great time to go ahead and try out one of the parties again if you haven't done one for a while. You're going to need to present your member ID card to get that early entry into the park, as well as your ticket for the party. The owner and up to 7 additional members of their group qualify for early entry. So, and I actually asked about this one time with one of the DVC people because my wife is on the contract with me, so she has her own DVC card. Is that the way yours is, Rebecca? Do you have a card and your husband has a card?
Don't forget, I'm not a member. I'm a renter.
Oh, that's right. You're still a renter. Ooh, that's right.
Well, she's got enough friends that'll get her in, though. Don't you worry about that. She's got some DVC friends.
She knows some people. I'm just
However,
saying.
Joe Quattrochi checks my card every time.
She knows a guy named Brad, a guy named Joe, a girl named Emily. She knows people.
Joe likes to sneak up on me and ask to see my credentials.
That's awesome.
Well, because my wife has a card, Carrie Coates, and Brad Coates. Well, she can bring 7 in on her card. I could bring 7 in on my card.
Oh,
what
even though the
me.
points are the same points.
Yeah, because they just look at the card.
That's pretty good.
If you have a valid card with your name on it.
So I'm assuming because this requires the card, if you're a resale owner, because you're no longer given a card, this does not apply to you.
That would be true.
But not good that's a good thing. Good to know.
Yeah.
Please do not write me angry letters, people.
Yeah, you fired them up. Look at you. You fired them up. And also, don't forget DVC owners. They're, as pretty much every year. I mean, once again, it's not a guarantee, but it's been a benefit they've been doing for a while. You can get a discount on your tickets of $5 per ticket if you buy it. I think you have to buy it through the. No, actually, it's built into the database now. I think. Like on mine, with my Disney experience, it has my DVC account listed. So when I go to buy something, it automatically applied. I noticed the last time it automatically applied my discount.
Oh, wow.
It saw that I was DVC and it just applied it. I went, whoa, hey, that's kind of nice.
That's very
nice. It's nice not to have to think about it or fight for it or any of that, yeah.
So anyway, that's kind of a neat feature for DVC owners, those who have bought direct. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Very good. That's pretty cool. I like that. Man, 2:00. That's a good.
I mean, that really is if you were there from 2 to 12.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Brad, because have you been to a handful of these, the Halloween parties?
Yeah. I have never been to Halloween, but I've been to Christmas multiple times.
So I've been to both, and I love them both. I would probably, even being the Christmas person that I am, I do have a certain love for the Halloween party because I just think it's so darn cute, and I love.
I know. I want to go so bad,
It really
the right
is a
time
lot
of year for me, but I would love to go.
So, but just and you and Bob, sort of just from a logistical point of view, what would you do? Because, I think you have to keep in mind that from 2 to 7, all the other park goers are still going to be there. It's not like they kicked them out early. So you've still got a pretty strong crowd. What would you do there? Would you plan a meal? Would you get in line for your favorite character? What would you do in that instance with that extra time?
Well, I would make sure to contact Bob and Tim and their touring plan expertise. Always work with a travel agent. But yeah, honestly, that's what I would do. I would hit hard those early hours, make sure I used up my Fast Pass Pluses. That's the power of Fast Pass Plus.
Exactly.
You can pick your time. So you pick that middle of the day when it's going to be crazy, and you do a lot of the big rides with your Fast Pass. You do the other stuff that normally doesn't take as much time, and then you save the long line rides until you get into the party time. Because then the lines get really. I mean, there's been times on the Christmas party where we got on Space Mountain. We came around to the end, and then they go, "You want to stay on?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Go ahead."
We did that on Splash Mountain 7 times.
Yeah, oh my God.
The 5th, 6th, and 7th. They didn't even ask us. They just didn't stop the boat.
You're not getting off. You're not getting off.
Nobody else coming up at midnight to get on Splash Mountain. Let them keep doing it. This is fun.
And I remember sharing that story and having another person sort of contradict, because I wasn't saying that the crowds weren't large. I was just saying we ended up with a really special moment in that. Yeah. And I had someone contradict me and say, well, that must have been great for you. I spent 4 hours waiting to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And I'm like, well, I'm really sad that you don't know how to plan.
So since we're turning our DVC show into a touring plan show, heads up for all you folks, just to manage your expectations. Let's just be clear. You're going to always have huge lines for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs who never come out except for the party. Exactly. So yeah, you're picking the one thing that.
Same with Jack Skellington and Sally.
Well, I'm glad you got on Monsters Inc. in 15 minutes. I stood in line for Star Wars for 9 hours. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't mean to be mean to whoever said that.
I mean, you do a little planning goes a long way, I think is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's always it depends on the ride or the experience. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just use your Fast Pass Pluses.
That's what especially during the time the park is open.
Exactly.
And open to the public. Use those Fast Passes where you can.
Save do the Haunted Mansions and things that don't tend to get real long.
So what we would always do is we would use our Fast Passes. We would go in at 4. We would plan a bunch of Fast Passes from 4 to 7. And then we always planned dinner for 7 o'clock because for whatever reason, I think it was because of those people who didn't know they could get in the park until 7 o'clock. The park would get flooded at 7 o'clock with people trying to get out and people trying to get in. So that's dinner time for us is always 7 o'clock. We pick a really nice sit down dinner, have a good dinner, and then we're ready to go attack the rest of the party.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, you gotta have some food in you too, because you're getting all those treats. So
you're there 10 hours, so you really should be planning some kind
exactly. And we always sort of trick or treated towards things because I don't like to carry things. I'm lazy. Yeah. But also, you will find towards the end,
they're just dumping.
Instead of like the 2 and 3 pieces, they're just like, here, take all of this candy.
Here, will this box fit in your bucket?
I actually fed all of my trick-or-treaters 2 years ago from candy I brought back with me from Disney.
So wait a minute. You're the reason they're making the stroller smaller, because you bought the biggest stroller just to dump candy in that thing.
Yep.
I see how it's going. All right.
It was the wagon. It was the pull behind the wagon. So anyway.
Well, Brad,
can I?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You just said something. Can I digress on something real quick?
Absolutely.
Having just got back from Disneyland and having observed a cool little white box painted on the ground right at the security check-in saying, "Fit your stroller in this box."
Like at the airport.
I kid you not. There it is on the ground. There was a part of me that about halfway through that trip wanted to find a tape measure somewhere, because I'm going, there is no way that stroller right there is. Are you? Because I even asked one of them. I said, "Did you turn it sideways and fit it in the box where it's long and narrow, and so you did it this way?" And said, "Oh no, they just said it was fine." I went, "Wow."
I think that the box is a request, not a requirement.
At least for a season here, maybe. But yeah, there were still some pretty big strollers, and I actually saw like 3 or 4 wagons.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? I'm always paranoid about wagons, though. I was just afraid someone was going to snatch my kid out of the back of it.
Yeah.
And then I got to know my kids, and I realized that wasn't a problem.
It's like, they just bring them back.
Eventually.
Turn them in at the guest
yeah, by the time they get to the front gate, they're going, "No, here, take them back."
Yeah, no, please.
But hey, I got a recommendation, by the way. This is a complete other tangent. You brought up Galaxy's Edge, Brad. I got a recommendation for folks. If they're planning on going to Galaxy's Edge, you want to, the week before, every night watch Avengers Endgame back to back to back every night. So you get that 9 hours of not going to the bathroom, because that would be a good way to go. You're not getting out of that line.
You are a smart man, Bob. You're a smart man. That's why we leave you in charge, our leader.
That will be your downfall.
You can't push the play button on the podcast, but you know things.
There you go. Hello. Thank you. Oh, wait. Was I supposed to start recording? Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Do over. Let's call this the mulligan.
Oh, boy. I'll just impersonate the two of you for the beginning of the show then, and I'll just fill
Bob,
it in.
I hate to tell you may not win any awards. However, the DVC has won an award.
Wait a minute. Are you blowing past me now? Wow. See?
Listen,
there you go, Looper Nation.
I have duty to Tim Scott. I am keeping this train on the track. It may be Amtrak. It may be. But that's our last story for the evening. Disney, the DVC Club, or the DVC, has won an ARDA Employer of Choice Award. Disney Vacation Club was recently honored by the American Resort Development Association with the ACE Employer of the Year Award, which recognizes the highest levels of excellence in the resort timeshare industry. This award speaks volumes about all the amazing Disney differences that we talk about very often. The DVC Club offers its cast members ranging from comprehensive benefits and the new education investment program, Disney Aspire, to fostering a diverse and inclusive work environment, all in addition to the company's overarching values. Each cast member plays a strong role in the success of the company in creating the magic for our many DVC members and guests. Disney Vacation Club also took home 2 additional awards: Best Print Magazine for Members, which is the Disney Files, and Best Marketing Program. So congratulations to them. I think they have always, made an effort to recognize the value of their employees. And I see that they are always striving to do better when they know better. So I think that they're making an effort. I think that's great that they were recognized.
Yeah. Boy, we've had some good news from Disney DVC.
Right? Yeah. I mean, like the last 2 stories weren't bad.
other than the pool hopping.
But you got really great Christmas and Halloween party perks. And you can kind of, I don't know, like I always love to be invested in a company that treats their employees well. So I think, if you're, timeshares in general kind of feel shady to me, but I guess if you're the best of shady, that's good.
Well, no.
And you just turned that around, didn't you?
Yeah. You know what? How long have we heard people talking about the downgrading of the quality of customer service at the parks?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how things are going the other direction. And thinking about it now, I didn't even think about it till you mentioned this story tonight, Rebecca, but I'm thinking of all the times. I mean, this is my 13th year as a DVC owner. And all the times that we've stayed in DVC resorts, I don't think I can think of a single time. I mean, there's times where the facility was bad or there was a situation, but I don't think I've ever really run into a guest provider that didn't treat me almost like, not to the level of maybe of a Disney cruise, but I mean, I've always had good people. I mean, not what you run into a typical hotel. And I never thought of that, but I don't think I've ever had any real problems with the customer service or with the people servicing my rooms or anything.
That's really great, and we hope that continues and moves forward. I mean, I think it's incredible. And I think that the phrase there that stood out to me was the Disney differences, and I think that even amongst all the good-natured ribbing that we give Disney, I think that those Disney differences do still exist.
There's still things to work on, Disney.
Sure.
Kudos, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Take care of your people, because in the business that the Disney parks at least are in, the Disney parks are all about us, the visitor, the guest. And if the cast members are happy, that's going to reflect back to us, and we're going to be more happy, and we're going to come back, which is one of the reasons we do keep going back time and time again. So Disney's got Bob Chapek.
Such a simple truth.
Take care of the cast members at Disney parks, and they'll take care of us, and you'll make tons more money.
Yep. Yeah. Think about it. You can give me 25 great first-time experiences, but give me one bad one. With a cast member,
you can turn around,
it really changes the whole dynamic of the experience. So take care of those people, man. They're really your best asset.
Absolutely, and our best assets are you guys.
Stop it.
Our DVC Roundtable. We love you guys.
Don't try to segue on me.
Rebecca slipped me a drink. We're missing, our other two roundtable members. We love them just as much. And
hope Joe, you're having fun, buddy.
Hope they're having a good
time.
And Emily, we hope you're having a good time. We don't know.
Somewhere with the kids racing around you.
She is so outnumbered.
Yes, she is.
Bob, we will miss you so much while you're gone.
Yes, my friend.
We wish you the best.
Thank you.
We will think of you often.
Thank you very much.
We are ridiculously grateful for all the joy you bring to our lives. So thank you.
You guys, the feeling is mutual, and this was a difficult decision for me to step away for a while, because I love doing the show. I love doing this with you guys. I love the interaction with Looper Nation. You guys are all fantastic. I love butchering names and menus.
You're good.
I apologize to everyone.
Your sweet spot.
I'm hoping that I can go back to college and learn the English language, so that I don't do that anymore. But
the good news is we'll be right here when you come back.
You guys mean the world to me, and I will still be out there in social media from time to time, checking up on you, making sure you're not doing anything too foolish.
Sorry.
So
I'll just apologize now.
Apologize right out of the gate. There you go. All right. Well, Rebecca, where can people find you?
Oh, my goodness. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. My favorite right now is Twitter. I go in phases. But Twitter at Tequila Becca. And you can always just reach out to me through Looper Nation, too.
Absolutely. And Brad, what about you?
And pretty much the same. Find me at Facebook. You can find me... I'm on Twitter, Papa Mouse 1, and once about every 2 months, I'll go on there and see if anybody had anything to say to me. And I'm not real good, but I probably spend a lot more time Looper Nation Live and Rocketeers and responding to people's questions and things there. So, and we love you guys. We're always here to help you with DVC and touring and whatever questions you have. We love the social. We love it when we're there to talk positive and help to heighten your experience.
And a wealth of information. Well, you guys are such a wealth of information, and we're so glad you guys are on board and helping us out. And by the way, everybody in Looper Nation, understand something, please. They get paid nothing. They get paid as much as me. They get
That's right. What? Tim told me I got paid double.
Listen,
That's true.
that's why we feel free to complain, because we're not getting paid.
That's right. So feel free.
And
Yeah,
yet they
you don't
come
like
back
yourself.
every month to do this show because they
We break speeding limits to do it.
I'm still waiting for you guys to start cutting us checks. I'm just saying, I don't know.
I
kidding.
think it's not fair you tell people we don't get paid. I mean, I've gotten signed hats from Bob, and he's famous.
I believe you guys got a DVC mug. Is that?
Yeah, we did.
That's about.
I'm looking at it
Yeah.
right there on my desk.
I gotta tell you, somebody was drinking out of that mug this weekend, and they're like, "What is the DVC podcast?" I'm like, "Well, let me tell you."
Atta girl.
Why do I have a feeling it went something like, well, it's the best show that Resort Loop has. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on.
But we really appreciate you guys, and I'll be around. Don't be afraid to reach out to me as well. So I will be out there. So as you guys know, check us out all over social media. And as Tim says, you've been listening to The Gateway to the Magic, and I will see you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoop.com.